Hey there, fellow Christian couples. Are you tired of the same old cycle of misunderstandings and frustrations in your marriage? You're not alone. Today, we're going to dive deep into that topic, and it could transform your relationship and ultimately your life. This is John Golda from Solid Rock Marriage Restoration. I'm glad you can join me. In the quest for a happy and harmonious Christian marriage, many of us fall into a common trap. We focus solely on what our spouse needs to change, scrutinizing their actions and their intentions, neglecting to recognize our own contributions to the challenges in our relationship. This narrow focus on changing our partner overlooks the valuable opportunity for personal growth. It's like missing the forest for the trees. As I think back on my marriage with Tanya, and we've been married 18 and a half years. Like many couples, I've had my moments of exclusively concentrating on what she needed to change. It's such a natural thing. Okay, one significant challenge revolved around how we made significant decisions impacting our family. It was around communication. My communication, my approach, often led to misunderstandings and frustration. Instead of understanding Tanya and seeking to change my view and my perspective to understand her better, I would judge her based on my perceptions. And when she was different, and when she had a different view, I didn't really understand it. So it became a negative just by default because we couldn't agree. I would judge her on her actions and her words, and not really get to the intent and not really get to the heart of the matter. And unintentionally, I was closing the door to open communication. It was harsh. Now, our differences in personality played a role in these disagreements. Tanya's more reserved. She's more quiet. I'm task-focused and direct. I wanted her to change, and I wanted her to be able to respond to my method of communication. I didn't even realize that's what I was doing, but I wanted her to respond and accept my communication without me really thinking about how I needed to change, to adapt, to make our decision-making process, our communications more harmonious, more peaceful, more loving. Even seemingly minor issues like managing the dishwasher became points of contention. I desired her to be more like me, is a plain way of saying it. And, I failed to appreciate sometimes the beauty of our differences. And so these struggles really took a toll on us and our relationship. We felt unheard, unappreciated. We even questioned if our love could overcome these hurdles. But deep down, we knew that true transformation required a different approach. Overcoming these challenges wasn't easy. It required introspection, it required humility, and a willingness to change ourselves before expecting our spouse to change. As we embarked on this journey of personal growth, we faced moments of discomfort, vulnerability, really kind of like a fish out of water, really not understanding and feeling comfortable in new ways of doing things, new ways of relating. But we learned to truly understand each other's perspective and to communicate in a way that honored our differences. So that was truly helpful. So what's the answer? What's the solution? It starts with embracing personal growth and recognizing the change that has to begin inside of us, each of us. We have to avoid being defensive. We have to avoid the belief that somehow we are beyond improvement, that we should just keep doing what we're doing without concern for how our spouse interprets it, what her perspective is or his perspective. And it's really a bigger thing than it sounds like on the surface. It sounds really easy. Well, just understand them better. Well, that's a bit of a challenge if you've ever tried it. Really getting inside someone else's personality, men and women think so differently. It's an effort. So here's your call to action. This is what I want you to do. So you can learn from me and the experiences I've had and not have to relive them. Acknowledge the areas where you believe your spouse needs improvement. That's okay. Acknowledge that. But prioritize personal growth first. Remember that, wisdom from Matthew 7, 1 through 5. First, take the log out of your own eye, and then you'll see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. honestly, I don't care who has the speck and who has the log. Tend first to the things that you control and the things that are inherent to how you're acting and how you're living out in your marriage. You control those, and you can have the biggest impact there. And it shows that you're serious about making change and can help inspire and encourage your spouse as well and ignite change within them. Here's some practical steps. I always like to share practical steps. Start each day with a positive attitude towards God and your spouse. Show respect to your husband. Love your wife, whether you think they deserve it or not. What does it mean to deserve, right? Love and respect. You can have I'm amazed every time I ask this question to a large audience, how many different passionate responses I get on this subject people seem to agree with loving your wife unconditionally. But when it comes to respecting your husband unconditionally, there's all sorts of passionate responses across the board, different opinions. And the truth is, God speaks to us about love and respect for our spouse and submission to one another, whether or not you think they deserve it. And it's a reflection of the love that he gives us when we don't deserve it. And so we can learn from that, and we can adapt that and use it in our relationship as an example. Dedicate time to be still with God through daily prayer and scripture. Study the Bible. Seek to understand its teachings. Listen to positive and encouraging friends or podcasts about life and marriage. Strive to really understand your spouse on a deeper level. These elements of personal growth can help transform your marriage, but there's so much more to explore. Of course, you can't unpack it all in one video, but I just want to make sure that I share some of these examples. Just lastly, I would encourage you to remember Philippians 4, verse 6 through 8. Whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is commendable, what is lovely, what is commendable, if there's any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Think about how to apply that to your marriage. It's really incredible. We so naturally think about whatever's negative in our spouse, but how often do we really focus on what's positive in our relationship, in our spouse, in our marriage? And that can lead our hearts and our minds to be a much more positive place, and it can really help us in our relationship. I would say one more, if you will, call to action. If you really want to delve deeper into these concepts, if you want to embark on a profound journey of transformation, consider visiting our website and exploring and just looking around there. You can see testimonials. You can see more about our program. You can see, just how we're helping people, how we're transforming lives. And you can see different ways to get connected, either through free Facebook group, through an email distribution list where you can get our newsletter weekly, or to learn more about our Marriage God's Way with MAA 90-day program. So I really do appreciate you joining us today. Remember, the power to transform your marriage starts with embracing personal growth. We believe in you. We're here to support your journey toward a more loving and harmonious marriage. And once again, if you're ready to learn more about how we help Christians heal and restore their marriages, visit our website at solidrockmarriagerestoration.com. Hope to see you there. Your marriage is worth the effort. Don't let time slip away. Take action today. May God be with you.